What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome, episode 30. Death Note. Rip to my boy, the Chief, Light's dad. They done took him out last week. Sacrificed himself in a way, but also just got completely taken out. Things didn't go too well, I guess, with the plan. But I guess it did at the end of the day. I don't know. It was a weird situation. I'm assuming we're finally going to get more near focus this week, as last week felt entirely things regarding the situation with Mello. So I'm assuming we're going to go back to N here. I don't know if I'm excited about that, because I'd much rather worry about Mello and the stuff that he's doing. Anyways, excited, I guess, to see where we're going to head. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe to me. It means a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. This is going episode 30. It's just playing with the blocks. Damn, he on to everything. He uses the percentages too. Yeah, he's a direct copy. Jesus. So everybody's been obeying, following the law perfectly. Except for the ones who probably want to test it and see if it's real. Oh no, that's fucked. I didn't even think about that. You start threatening kids in school and shit like that. No. Alright, yeah, that's rough. Oh, this kid bullied me. Get him fucking killed. That'd be... That's awesome. And then you got the Kira supporters, the people against them. Kira's Kingdom, they made like a whole TV show out this shit. Jesus fucking Christ. That's not true. Nope. But if I was appointed by Kira, he's not gonna kill me, so we're good. I love when my president of the United States speaks Japanese. Oh, he feels threatened. Get him off the stage. I'm gaining all the power. They're falling right into your trap. Yes. Yeah. Right, because they can't defy him, so if they do some shit he doesn't fuck with, he's gonna die. Or they will. Right, so as a country, it doesn't make any sense. Damn, bro, he really spread himself across the world. Only took him a couple of years. Yes, I do. I know you're not asking me, but I do. Yeah, well, that's why you're gonna be dead by the end of the show, aren't you now? Stupid ass. I think he's fighting evil too, but it doesn't mean he can't be evil himself. I would argue it hasn't. Right, I'd argue that they're more terrified. And you're sacrificing your peace for mental, like, stability in a way. Lack of stability. But I think he's a good guy. Yeah, because we already know the answer. And that's not going to happen, so... That's not how that works. That's how that works to them, though, but no. Right. So, it's increasingly that he's going to be justice, yeah. It's very similar, parallel in a way to how the police force kind of dropped the group searching for Kira in a way. And now here we are on the other end, the people being employed by the FBI or the United States government in a way has dropped them. I was gonna say something, but I don't remember who this is. So maybe we don't know. What's we doing? I just can't remember. Oh, Mello, hey. Oh, that was the girl who worked with, Oh, well, we found them. We found them. Yeah. That was the person who worked with Nier. That's what I was thinking. It's got a dope setup. Oh, you got fucked a little bit, huh? Good. I was gonna say, there's no way he got out of that shit last time without even, like, any scratches, right? Yeah, well, he'll kill you here. Right. Focus on that. He's not a priority. Yeah, he's just using you, dude. But you won't. Kinda hope you do. Fucking sick of this guy already. The show will end. And that. Yeah, there's no other copies as long as you're aware of. I like this visual. I didn't expect you to. So what do you want to do? Just give him info. There's no reason to lie to me. Yeah. Yeah, he does some other shit that might make more sense. Okay, so he believed that. I thought he was sus of those rolls last time, like not thinking that they were false. I'd place my bet on Nier. I feel like that's the direction that they'd rather go with the show. Be like, oh, he's more like L, so look what he did, you know. I'd argue that's what they're gonna do. I think it'd be more cool if they had just decided to say fuck it and work together later on. But to be honest, I do like the way of everybody operating on their own, so probably wouldn't like that actually. I might just be misremembering it, but I don't remember a situation where he actually ever had the book or knew of any of the roles listed inside of it. So the fact that he just determined that makes no sense to me. Unless he like literally had the book before or like knew of the roles because of that. I just don't remember that. So if he hasn't and he just figured that out, that's some bullshit. So you didn't catch him. He's like, dude, don't say that. I'm good, little bro. Are we all on the same page now? Yeah. Yeah. Matsuda's all over the place now, dude. Everything he just said a couple minutes ago going out the window. Yeah? Yeah, well, I do. Trying to back you into a corner here, dude. Yeah. I would just let him do it. Just let him do it. Jesus. Yeah, they were literally questioning that a few hours ago. Or like a couple minutes ago. If you ever don't think you can trust the guy you're working with right now, give me a call. Yeah. Right. Just dismiss everything that the director just said. Right. The chief. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been knowing he a threat. To stop them from, like, everything. Oh, thought we were just getting everybody involved to make sure that they can't do shit. If you want to die, I can make that happen. But if you want to work with me here and allow me to fucking take over and do what I need, so fucked. I'm just doing shit at this point, yeah. See, he might not kill you though if you suggest that, because then it might be a little more sus, you know? Damn. What a lad. Yeah, like he's listening in. I went behind his back, bro. It's over. It's over for y'all. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Loud ass motherfuckers. Yeah, that's what everybody's wanted to believe, but it hasn't fucking happened, has it? We found him. Just gonna go. Oh, we're just gonna break in and fuck her up, aren't we? This is a big ass building. Perfect. Oh, here it comes. Damn, bro. Damn. Yeah, he knows. He already knows. Alright, this one was okay. It's more near focus or involvement again, and as I've stated previously, he's rather boring and uninteresting to watch. It still just doesn't make sense. I understand why they progressed the story the way they did, I guess, but why they progressed it to make a less interesting copy of L is still something I'm not understanding in the slightest, because it's literally turning back into that again. So it's just like the formula is similar, but at the same time you have worse off characters. It just makes it like we should have expanded what ended up happening with the other situation more. That's kind of how I feel. Whether it would be keeping L alive or just make that last a little bit longer and flesh that out a bit more, I don't know. But yeah, it felt rather, it still feels weird when that's the case. I like introducing Mello. I like how he can suddenly change things up and shift things a lot, just because the way he acts is so like out of character for everybody else in a way. Like he does things so different, which I really like. Something I do like about this second half, specifically what we've been doing, the pacing of it's been pretty well, I would say. I feel like a fair bit of things happen each episode, instead of just like one entire thing occurring. Like I feel like we get some different angles and different things happen. So I like that aspect a lot. But yeah, it felt like more of similar formula of things that kind of happen where somebody near, or you could just take L from the past, literally does something that deduces down, you know, what's happening and starts being more suspicious of Light, and then Light on the other end starts realizing people are catching on to him, and then does something that kind of tries to back the other person into a corner or clear his name even more. It's been the same kind of back and forth, and once again displays itself on full here, it feels like. The most interesting part of the episode is the intro sequence that we kind of get here, discussing just like the kind of effects that Kira's had and how some people view Kira in a good light, right? Like as justice in a way, and some people view Kira as an evil. And I think that's the most interesting route of this entire story, is taking it like that, and how you can take somebody who is so obviously evil in a way, and I say that through my perspective, right? But at the same time, there can be other people who view the person as a good person for the things that they're doing. Well, he's doing good things at punishing evil in a way. You might think of, oh, that's a great person, but at the same time is doing absolute negative things, and he's controlling everybody within the world now, basically at this point, through fear and through things like threats in a way like that. And it kind of makes it like, is he really a good person, or is he just doing it all for his own personal gain and kind of putting us all in a shitty position? You know, like somebody who has all the power in the world at the palm of their hands, and they can make anything happen and kill anybody at any moment, it seems like, right? And they are holding that over your head in a way that makes you have to constantly think about it and feel threatened. We literally see examples here of other countries like backing down in a way, or agreeing to kind of follow Kira in a way. People talking about how it's a good thing because no wars and all these conflicts are kind of stopping because certain people are threatened, and they feel that if they try and do something and it's not in Kira's big picture of an ideal world here, he's just going to do away with them and he's going to put a stop to it himself. So there's no point of going out of your way and doing something like that. But then you see the negative side even more of things that happen within like school, and how there's an online thing, and they report all these people who do bad deeds in a way, or do bad things, who do crimes or whatever it is, and they post things about their name and their face and everything online, and they try and get these people killed for the bad things they do. But we see it spreading within schools, especially amongst younger kids, who can use this as a tactic to kind of bully other people into not doing things, or doing things that they kind of want from them regardless of the situation. It can create a really fucked up spiral effect here that is not good in the slightest, which is just goes to further the reasons why the whole idea of Kira and everything that's happening there is very evil. This dude's got a TV show, we find out, where he talks about Kira being his god and being against like anybody who's trying to stop him and stuff. Weird shit. The US agrees to kind of join in and follow through Kira, which is even more, fucked up. I don't like that. I also thought it was just funny. I understand why it's like that, but I thought it was funny that they just have the president speaking in Japanese instead of just like getting somebody in English to do it, even though this is the normal subversion. Still, I feel like sometimes you should do that. Things like shows like Vinland Saga and stuff don't do the different languages just because there'd be so much and so much inconsistency and stuff. But I feel like if you're gonna have the president who doesn't really say a lot of words, you could at least put him in English. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. We were having some internal debates amongst everybody on our Kira squad over here, or our second L squad, Team Light, I guess I'll just call them, about exactly the good or bad that Kira is doing, if Kira is the good person or bad person, and how we all kind of feel in that respect. We find out Mello is actually still alive. He pulls up on the girl who ends up working closely with Nier that he ended up not killing before, and basically uses her as a hostage in the situation and brings her in, uses her as a bargaining piece in a way, which I don't really understand what his intentions were of this. This is like one of those situations where the two people who are at odds with each other constantly talk to each other or like say things, and I'm not really wrapping my head around. He showed up because he wanted to get a picture, specifically because he's trying to destroy all evidence of himself, so like nobody can kind of know what he looks like or have anything like that, right? Like, so I get that completely, but like him leaving afterwards, and specifically leaving the words like being like, oh, one of the rules within the thing is fake, and like I'm not going to tell you anymore, but I need to at least give you this, right? Like it rings off weird to me. Maybe there's a deeper or better reason why he kind of did it. He wants more of like an even playing field in a way. I don't understand, so he can feel better about himself and his situation. I don't know. It doesn't come off right to me though. It could just be me not understanding that in the fullest, but it's just weird. And I don't like when we have like two people who are clearly at odds with each other in some sort of way, who just kind of give each other info and allow things to work out, which like we even see later on with Nier and Light, and they're trying to play these mind games with each other, and they basically just start giving each other info in certain ways. Like it just doesn't, it comes off weird to me. I don't know, because you can't lie to them, because you already know that the people you're working with are beyond smart, that they're going to be suspicious of like everything that you do. If you try and pull some sort of tactic, you know that there's like underlying meanings to it, and if you could suspect it, the other people who seem to be as equally smart as you can probably pick up on it too. So then you can't end up doing that. You just have to do everything straightforward, so those tactics just don't really make much sense to me, how they kind of evolve and work themselves. Anyways, that whole situation goes down here. I think this shot's just really cool. I just like the way it looks. Mello gives us more confirmation about Shinigamis and make sure, you know that they're true, but one of the rules is fake. And then Nier starts going through and remembering like all the rules and stuff and deciding on which one's fake. Now, this is the part I'm very, very confused on, because I don't recall a time where he had the notebook and he actually got the rules for himself. I don't recall a time where somebody actually gave him all the rules. So I don't have a clue as to how he knew about what the fake rule was and how he actually like deduced to this. There might be something I'm missing. That I'm almost positive there's something I'm missing, because I don't think that they would just blatantly put this in and then be like, oh look, he's a super genius who figured out the fake rule that was written in without actually knowing the rules, you know? Because he can, I know he can deduct the basic rules. Like that's not an issue. Like that's something very simple for him to be able to figure out here. But finding like specific ones about specific times and like how long you have to wait and like all this stuff, that's the stuff that like I feel like the specifics, it's where it gets weird. So maybe he did figure it out some other way and I missed it, or they just didn't show it, but I feel like they probably did and I just missed it. So let me know what that was if I cannot remember. He basically figures out it's the 13-day rule, and then we have a whole conversation here where he starts basically cluing in a bit more that Light is the person that he's looking for. He's Kira, how he has the Shinigami with him, how he's been in contact with him, how he knows that he can't really lie to him or do these things because he can easily make the Shinigami lie for him, or he can just lie on his end because Nier himself can't actually hear Ryuk and the things that he's saying because he hasn't touched the notebook in any sort of way, right, to be able to pick up on that. So it makes that stuff kind of make sense. But then we see the people in the background even discussing it even more, the situation about how it doesn't make any sense if Light had to be detained, and that I guess that rule could be fake as a result of that because he's been gone for so long, but then start questioning themselves even more. Why the chief used to always say that he was like, you know, clear, or why was he pushing for that so far, and even in his last moment said that Light was clear and that it made him happy, right? And then they start like thinking about it even more. Nier presents something that I think is a really, really fun thing about basically he'll kill Mello through the book, like if you could like give it to him so he can write it because he already knows what he looks like where nobody else does, and then we'll put the test to a rule, or we'll put it like to a real test here, and if he ends up dying after 13 days then he dies and Kira ends up winning. But if not, then I get to test and figure out that the rule is actually fake. This doesn't really work well for Light. I would have just let him do it and say fuck it, and then had like some other plan in mind when I did this. What that plan would be, I don't know, but I feel like that would have been like the better route to go, because then it kind of would have put Nier at more of a standstill for 13 days, because like there wouldn't be much that he could do until he actually ended up figuring out if he could have died or not, and if this rule is real or not. Instead, Light decides to ask everybody else that he's working with what they think, and they all seem to be kind of against the idea. So we end up not going for it, which is rather unfortunate. And then Nier drops some good stuff about like, oh, if you've ever had doubts about the guy that you're working with here or anything like that, just, you know, give me a call and I'll set some shit straight for you and we can work on this, which I think is really, really interesting and funny. Especially because we built up over, you know, the whole course of the show, but also especially this episode about people kind of having disagreements and understandings about true intentions of Kira, or what Kira's real goals like kind of are, and as a result of all that stuff, like how they should feel. So it kind of comes to a boiling point here of like, fuck, we have an opportunity here to kind of set things straight and make action on like the things that we feel are right. So we should maybe take this opportunity, venture more into the president here and kind of threatening him in a way to use everything in his power here to kind of shut down and get all the info that they can for figuring out exactly where Nier is located and his whole group is. We see this guy at the end, he's the one who's going to be heading the TV program where they end up finding him and exposing where Nier and everything is. And then we really get the good stuff here, I think, where the guys really start questioning exactly what they want to do and if it's a good idea for them to go against Light in this situation, because maybe they do have suspicion of him, or maybe they don't, but they just trust the way that Nier seems to want to operate a bit more, whatever the case may be, right? Light's actually outside listening in the entire time, being sus of exactly what's going to happen. So if these guys last long, the only reason that these guys wouldn't die is because it would just put even more sus on everybody else's end if they ended up dying instantly here after immediately like accusing Light. So I guess you could keep them around for that, but you could also use them as info if you can get them on the inside and then kind of like do something to monitor them in a way and figure out the things that Nier would end up doing. But we end up ending with us finding Nier's location here, which I think is rather interesting because I don't know how this is going to approach. Light says that he won, but like he says that a lot, so I don't think it's going to be that easy, and I feel like they've built Nier up to be a bit more smart than actually just getting caught here and ending it here. So I feel like there's some more stuff that they got to kind of build into here. Overall, that's all that kind of was, and we're moving at a good pace, like I said, and I'm actually enjoying that aspect of this a lot. But man, some of the characters they, you know, introduced, especially Nier, has just been so dull. So boring to kind of get through and see his tactics and stuff like that, and it just kind of feels more of the same back and forth, but less interesting at that time. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we just get some crazy shit for the next few, and then, you know, wrap it up and while going like a complete different direction than the standard route that we were before. But it doesn't seem like we're going to continue down that way. we'll have to end up seeing how this goes. That's going to be all from me, though. If you liked it, I'll have to like and subscribe to mean a lot. So feel free to leave any comments about this episode or series. I'll be back for episode 31 next week. You have a good one, though. See ya.